All right, shalom everyone. Hope you're all doing well. You're here with Hebrew Elevation Church, and I am Brother Ephraim. And today we're going to be going through temperance, a fruit of the Spirit. So we've got here Galatians 5:22 to 23, saying, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law." So let's dive straight into it. So the first slide is called Always Rise After Falling. Now, before we get into the scriptures, let's just understand what temperance is and how it's used. So you can see here in the outline of biblical usage, self-control, the virtue of one who masters his desires and passions, especially his sensual appetites. So it's all about self-control. That's really what temperance is. And we're going to see how important that is, in how we should use temperance in our lives and how we should be able to self-control. So Romans 3 and 23 in the KJV, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So we all sin. Nobody's perfect. Only the Messiah, only God is perfect. We ourselves, we're not perfect. Jeremiah 17 and 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So this again showing us that we as much as maybe we would want to be good, inherently we are all we're all wicked. We all have a sinful nature. So let's go on to the next one to see what we should do. So submit yourselves. This is James 4 and 7. Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. So this is why I've titled this Always Rise After Falling, because we will all sin. That will happen. But it's about resisting the devil as much as we can, submitting ourselves to God as much as we can to be able to have the devil flee from us, to be able to resist the sin, to resist the temptation. So Yah has given us the strength to not sin. So like I said, we do always sin, but we can minimize that. So here we have Titus 2, verses 11 to 12. For the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lusts, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world. So the grace of God has given us salvation. So the grace is what allows us to, we're not perfect, we're going to sin. And by being able to have that grace, that allows us the chance to be able to have salvation. And what we need to do is try to live godly, try to live a righteous life. And to do this, we need to resist. And 2 Timothy 1 and 7 says, for God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So God has allowed us to, or given us the power to be able to resist the sin, because everything is on here for a reason, and we're here being tested, and we have to make sure that we're able to not fall into the traps of the devil to sin, but use the strength and use what's given to us by God to resist the sin and do the right thing. So there's no temptation we can't bear. So 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 13 says, there hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So what the scripture here is saying, that although we may be tempted by sin, there's no temptation that is too much for us. There's no temptation that we have to think, you know what, I can't not sin. I have to do it. In the same way that, when you're on a diet, for example, you don't want to be eating certain foods, but you're not going to succumb to that. You're going to say, you know what, I've got food at home, there's rice at home. So you're not going to fall to that sin. You're not going to fall to want to eat out. So in the same way here, there's no temptation that is too much for us. We're able to resist, and it's God that has given us that temptation, which is sort of a test to build us up, to make us stronger, and that's that temptation that is not too much for us, basically. So James 1 and 12 says, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. So we are going to endure temptation in our life. That's going to happen. Like I said before, everyone sins, but it's about how you are able to resist it, how you are able to manage that sin, how you're able to basically have self-control. And here we see that is blessed is the man that endureth temptation. So it's something that God knows we're going to go through, and it's something that we know we're going to go through. But as I keep saying, it's about resisting that sin. It's about resisting that temptation, and we'll receive the crown of life. Crown of life. We'll receive salvation, and that's what we all want at the end of the day. So we must train ourselves to resist sin. So just as you would train yourself for anything, as you would, prepare for a big exam, you have to do practice tests. In the same way, if you're going to do sports, you have to, train for that. If you're going to have a football game, you got to do training all throughout the week. So here we have Proverbs 25 and 28. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. So you can't be someone who is not in control of your spirit. You can't let your worldly desires take over you and then you succumb to them. You have to be able to show that self-control, to show that you're able to put God in your mind at all times, to be able to make the devil flee from you. And 1 Corinthians 9 and 27, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. So here, this one is quite an important scripture, as it shows us that, we must bring our body into subjection. We must make sure that we are training our body. We must make sure that we're ready and we're preparing ourselves for that temptation that will come. Because as we preach to others, we don't want to ourselves be telling someone, you can't be doing this, when ourselves, we are sinning in that same way. We have to be able to show that we're strong enough to resist that sin. So yeah, today was a short one today. So willing, it was edifying for you, and the plan is to keep having these sort of lessons so that we can understand the things that maybe aren't talked about all the time or every day in the Bible, but things that are just as important. So if this was good for you, like, subscribe, share the video, share it around, and I'll catch you all in a bit. Yeah, willing. Yeah, bless.